one way to look at that. So Tesla becomes a tech company, but do the tech companies become car companies? Like, how do you see the Apple Car playing out?
So this is important. We think that Volkswagen, obviously, as a national champion and one of Germany's largest private employers, they're going to make a run at EVs and they'll have some degree of success. We don't doubt that. So you could say that Elon might be annoyed or a little, distracted by Volkswagen. But what we think he's really focused on are the Apples and that genre. Those are the ones that can really, really get a big chunk of the market globally and in the US. So we think that those a risk to Tesla, the two risks are mega tech getting into transportation and being able to do things that Tesla does and even more, right? Because they can attach to their ecosystem.
Hey guys, welcome to Connecting the Dots, the podcast where we follow the breadcrumbs and try to predict where disruptions will take us. In this video, I'll give some unique details about two highly anticipated products, the Apple Car and the Tesla smartphone and smartwatch. It's a bold title, so to set expectations straight, if you're looking for specs, features, or a launch date, you won't find them here. What you will find are facts, theories, and an exciting story about castles and moats, technology and disruption, Elon Musk and Tim Cook, and about Sun Tzu and a huge technology war that's about to begin. A clash of the titans. And no, it's not what you think. Before we dive in, I'd like to thank E-Bike Adventures of St. Pete for sponsoring this video. E-Bike Adventures of St. Pete are a family-owned business that provides fun, GPS-guided e-bike tours of one of the most e-bike-friendly cities around, beautiful St. Pete, Florida. There's a link in the description below, and if you tell them you saw them here, you'll get 20% off. I usually provide placeholders to sections of my videos, but this time I didn't, for a reason. Even if you're excited for the Tesla phone, please listen to the Apple Car part first, because everything is connected. You'll need the Apple Car part to understand the rest, so please don't skip it. I'm really excited about all this, but before we dive in, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, the YouTube algorithm really likes it when the button is hit early in the video. It helps share this video with a lot more people, so if you do, I truly appreciate this. Anyway, let's buckle up and get ready, because this story is about disruption, and disruptions are never boring. Once in a while, we hear news about the upcoming Apple Car. A lot of questions are raised. For example, will Apple make cars at all? If so, when, at what price, and with what specs? Will they make them in-house, by a startup such as Lucid, or partner with an OEM? Is there some rabbit up their sleeve that will let them catch Tesla? If not, can they at least catch up with the OEMs? Which battery tech will they use, and what advantages will it have? Endless questions are raised, but one thing people don't ask is why Apple wants to enter the market. Nobody asks why they invested billions of dollars in Project Titan, why they hired hordes of Tesla, Waymo, and other AI engineers, and why are they still trying to do so after already pouring so much money into it. People don't ask this because the answers are obvious. There are two excellent reasons for Apple to develop an EV. First, since EVs are computers on wheels, Apple can provide unique value and wants a piece of the EV market. Second, Apple is going after the Holy Grail. They aren't trying to make yet another regular EV. They want to develop autonomous cars and take a chunk of the multi-trillion-dollar ride-hailing market. But I also see a third reason for Apple to do this. This reason is huge, yet nobody's talking about, because the first two are so good, they managed to hide it. To explain how this happens, take a look for a moment at these three pictures. The first picture, now the second one, and here's the third. Did you notice anything unusual about them? I'm sure you noticed the things stuck out between the men's teeth, but did you notice that the man in the first picture is missing an ear? Or that the second picture shows a hand with 6 fingers? Or that the woman in the third picture has 3 hands? Chances are that you focused on the gunk between their teeth and missed the weird details. I have a feeling that the same is happening with the Apple Car. People focus on what's obvious and miss something huge that's hiding in plain sight. And believe me, this thing is huge. In fact, if I'm correct, then the implications are so big that if you're a tech investor in either Apple or Tesla, get ready to brace yourself and recheck your investment portfolio because it's only a matter of time before all hell will break loose. Having said that, now's the time to disclose that I am long Tesla, have no position in Apple, and everything here is my opinion only. Nothing is investment advice, so do your own due diligence before changing any investments. So there is a third reason that's pushing Apple forward to make an EV, and this reason is huge and completely unrelated to cars. This same reason might possibly also explain Amazon's efforts with Zoox, Google's attempts with Waymo, and Microsoft's collaboration with Cruise. I said might because frankly I didn't check. I'm not too interested in these companies, so only raised this as an option so you go down this rabbit hole yourself if they do interest you. I am sure, however, that this third reason is driving Xiaomi's and Huawei's efforts, as they're going all in to develop their own autonomous EVs. And yes, both Xiaomi and Huawei are determined to become forces to be reckoned with, and have made huge progress. We don't hear much in the West about Chinese companies, but if you think Apple is trying to compete with Tesla on EVs, you'd be shocked to learn how far ahead Huawei is. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to make a video on Huawei's and Xiaomi's progress. But for now, let's talk Apple. So what is that third reason that's not even related to EVs, but is driving Apple's efforts to make them? In one word, survival. If you spat out your coffee at that, listen on, because I'm serious, and here's where things start to get dirty. Let's start with a brief review of Apple's moats. If you don't know what business moats are, I've prepared a separate video about the subject. Every investor should at least know what they're about. So if you don't, just click the link above and watch a video where I explain what moats are, show Apple's and Tesla's moats, and let Warren Buffett and Elon Musk give their opposing views. In the current video, I will assume you already know what moats are or have watched my explanation vid, but in a nutshell, let's just say that moats are durable competitive advantages that help companies fight competition. So which moat does Apple have? They have a great brand that people trust and want. They have wonderful product design and user experience. They have hordes of loyal fans. And with so much scale, they enjoy Foxconn as a low-cost producer. But mostly, they have their own ecosystem. The ecosystem is strongest by far, because even if another company with a strong brand reveals an amazing smartphone, Apple users will think hard before buying it because it won't fit smoothly with their other products. To push the idea through, a couple years ago my girlfriend got an iPhone while I remained on Android along with most of our other devices. That was a huge mistake. We always used workarounds to get things done, things were never completely smooth, and we cursed every minute of it until we acted and reunited in one camp. The ecosystem is so strong because people don't want to pay a price when leaving the ecosystem. For example, between 2013 and 2019, Samsung lost 36% of its market share to other companies that also ran Android. Yet Apple, with its own ecosystem, was much less affected and only lost 18% of its share. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Samsung also had to slash prices far more than Apple did. Despite competition, Apple still sells at a premium. The bottom line is that Apple sells less than 20% of smartphones, yet takes over 80% of the profits. This is huge.
Hey, wake up! Hey, wake up! Hey, wake up!
I'm taking a small detour here, but this is huge. You know those analysts yelling, "The competition is coming," and saying that Tesla is overvalued because it will soon lose market share? Well, the competition isn't here yet. But even if it does arrive, and Tesla does lose some of its share, consider this. Like Apple, Tesla is a premium brand. And like Apple, Tesla has a strong moat, its huge technology lead. So adding one and one together, isn't it also possible that like Apple, Tesla will only sell 20% of all cars, but take 80% of the profits? Play with the numbers as you wish, but you get the idea. Once EVs roam Earth, all other competitors will fight neck to break even, while Tesla, in a league of its own, will quietly make tons of money. Shitloads. Let me know in the comments what you think, but let's get back to Apple again, and here is where it really gets interesting. Remember I told you that when my girlfriend got an iPhone, but I was on Android, it was only a matter of time before we chose a side? That was because we stopped living in a single ecosystem. Ecosystems should be fully contained, but we started living in two, and once we did so, each of the two was at risk. And I'm telling all this because after years of Apple staying on top, Tesla is in a unique place where it can breach Apple's moat. Imagine the world in a few years, where 20% of the cars are Teslas, or maybe we all use Tesla robotaxis. Now imagine that one day, Tesla starts offering smartphones, tablets, watches, etc., all running on the same operating system as the cars, with seamless operation, while iOS and Android apps don't offer the same experience. Suddenly, iPhone and Android users will find themselves in the same situation I was with my girlfriend's iPhone. Whenever they're in a car, there will be a mismatch between its ecosystem and their own phones, and before long, they will probably pick a side. Apple knows very well that if it doesn't offer them a kick-ass EV, chances are that many will stick with the Tesla and ditch their iPhones for Tesla's kick-ass phone, which will in turn lead them further to get Tesla ecosystem speakers, tablets, computers, and TVs. If integration with the car isn't enough for you, remember that the Tesla phone will also work much better with solar, Powerwall, AutoBidder, HVAC, insurance, and whatever else Tesla will sell you. Later, Tesla phone users will find they can just hop in the local boring tunnels while others have to open apps, register, and do other manual tasks before they get the ride. And the same goes for ride-hailing and for Starlink. The Tesla ecosystem should be much bigger than Apple's and cover so many aspects of our life. Let's go back and look at the big picture. Most of us realize that selling cars is Tesla's way of gathering data till they win autonomy. And most of us realize that selling cars is Tesla's way of pushing battery costs down till they win EVs and energy storage. But similarly, selling cars is also Tesla's way of getting tens of millions of loyal users into its operating system so that they can win the user electronics market. Apple knows that, and Apple is scared. They simply cannot afford this to happen. Until now, things were much easier for them. Either Apple led the way, or if others produced something that Apple didn't have, such as a large screen phone, Apple soon made a copy in the Apple ecosystem. But this time it's different, because making a good EV is way harder. Both Elon Musk and Tim Cook are well aware of Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War. In this book, Sun Tzu stressed the importance of planning ahead to winning wars, because wars are won in the planning stage, long before the fighting itself begins. This is the basis behind Tesla's multi-year master plans. When analyzing opponents, Sun Tzu said, "What is of the greatest importance in war is extraordinary speed. Extraordinary speed is the exact definition of Tesla. Their rapid pace of innovation makes Tesla potentially deadly, and Apple knows this. Tesla is moving at lightning speed, quickly building gigafactories, pushing forward its technological lead, securing supply deals, ramping up production, and lowering car prices so it would get as many users into its network as fast as it possibly can. If Tesla opens an app store and starts selling smartphones and other consumer electronics, an all-out war will start deep in Apple's core business. If Tesla does this only after they get tens of millions of users, that war will start with Tesla having a stronghold to help win this business. Sun Tzu checks where wars are fought. If they are fought deep inside enemy territory, what Sun Tzu calls heavy ground, they can be lethal. A fast-moving army waging war in heavy ground can completely defeat its rival. So Tesla wants to ramp up and start a war when they're ready. But if Apple lets Tesla do this, Apple risks losing everything. So what can Apple do? Sun Tzu answers, when a large, well-organized opponent is about to come to you, how do you deal with it? First take away what they like, and then they will listen to you. So to protect its business, Apple can't wait for Tesla to make the first move. Apple needs to move fast so it can fight the war in Tesla's own ground. Apple needs to start making EVs. But wait, why does Apple need to offer its own car for that? Can't they just offer CarPlay in other cars? In truth, CarPlay is a way to keep users within the ecosystem. And this is why Apple is doing a very un-Apple-like thing and offering it free of charge to OEMs. That's right, OEMs currently get CarPlay for free. But CarPlay isn't enough for 3 reasons. 1. The hardware that CarPlay runs on in OEM cars isn't made by Apple, so there are many things that Apple cannot control. 2. Since every car is different, it takes lots of tailoring to make CarPlay play well on each model, without any bugs or lags, and without making a BMW seem like an Alfa Romeo. The first 2 reasons are small and can be overcome in the future. For example, I see Apple standardizing interfaces and requirements much more, so that fitting it to different cars would be easier. However, there is also a 3rd reason, and it is a deal breaker. The deal-breaking 3rd reason is that if Apple doesn't offer a car of its own, this leaves them at the mercy of others. Tesla wants Apple's users, so all Tesla cars won't feature CarPlay. But worse, Apple can't even count on other OEMs to offer CarPlay for long. Some OEMs can decide to exclusively install Android Auto, and many firms from China and the West will possibly run Xiaomi's or Huawei's EV suites. For example, Geely has partnered with Huawei, so they will use Huawei's EV suite. So chances are that Geely's brands, Volvo and Polestar, will also use the same suite. And Geely now handles engine development for Mercedes, so Mercedes might move to Huawei too. These are just examples that may or may not happen, but the bottom line is that Apple can't afford to remain at the mercy of others. And I just realized a fourth reason, which is that one way or another, CarPlay will soon die. CarPlay and Android Auto are old tech solutions to run apps and get music and navigation on a car's infotainment system, but they were built for compartmentalized ICE cars. Upcoming EVs, however, will have unified computers and need strong hardware with a dedicated operating system. VW is breaking its teeth now on developing such a system, but many OEMs haven't even started. But Huawei already offers a ready-made EV suite. If you're the CEO of Mercedes, BMW, or Ford, and you need both kick-ass computing hardware and a matching operating system, do you start hiring huge teams to start developing from scratch something that nobody in your organization currently knows how to make, and if it arrives late, threatens your EV programs? Or do you just buy an EV suite from Huawei, like you outsource everything else in the car? And if you use Huawei's system or anything like it, you don't need Apple CarPlay anymore, which leaves Apple stranded. CarPlay in its current form will die, and like Tesla, Huawei, and others will eat Apple's cake too. In other words, without making cars of their own, Apple will first be at the mercy of others, and then this mercy will stop. Apple needs to start making EVs. You might think that Tesla won't start making smartphones, tablets, etc., because it's not part of their mission, and Elon even said that smartphones are a thing of the past. So first, I think he was sandbagging Apple so that Apple won't be pushed to start the war now when Tesla isn't yet ready. Also, if something like a smartphone will unify systems and make the Tesla experience cooler and more efficient, with more people wanting it, this means that it does support the mission. Similarly, revenues from selling these devices can help Tesla move its mission forward. So maybe they'll make smartphones and smartwatches, and maybe they'll come up with new devices that will succeed smartphones as we know them. But one way or another, they will enter Apple's playing grounds. As Sun Tzu said, one cannot afford to neglect opportunity. I know this is speculation, but even if Tesla does nothing, this doesn't matter to Apple. They cannot afford to wait and see what Tesla will actually do. They have to act now, based on what Tesla will be able to do. Apple has too much to lose if they wait for Tesla to act first. And Apple knows that if once Tesla has a huge base of fanatical users, they will also start making phones. These will instantly become bestsellers. Think about it. If Tesla made a smartphone or a smartwatch, how bad would you want them? Even now, before Tesla creates an ecosystem, there is huge public demand for such a phone or watch. In August 2020, the internet was on fire with rumors of a Tesla smartwatch when Explora Technologies, a Norwegian company that makes smartwatches for kids, wrote in an FCC filing, "Necessary acts carried out by Shenzhen Balun in connection with the application shall have the same effect as the acts of Tesla Motors." Sounds very intriguing, but in one of my first dots connecting on Twitter, I found out it's wrong. As far as I know, I was the first to find out what happened. Explora worked with Shenzhen Balun. So I searched Balun's FCC filings and found the exact same sentence in an order filing that they gave for a project with Tesla. It became clear that Shenzhen Balun copied the Explora filing from the previous one without updating the Tesla paragraph. All this was wrong, but it launched thousands of discussions. The internet went crazy. And every now and then, we get a fan rendering like this one of how a Tesla phone would look like. So clearly the demand is there, even before Tesla ramps up its user base and sets everything up as a unified ecosystem. Apple knows this, and Apple is worried. So if my theory is true, what are the investment implications? First, let's rephrase the main question. Main Street media always asks, will Apple make a Tesla killer? But in the big picture, the $2 trillion question is really, will Tesla be the Apple killer? If it is, there are implications for both Tesla and Apple stocks. So let's start with Tesla. Until Tesla gains tens of millions of users, I don't expect them to do much more than start adding apps and an app store to its cars. Despite currently sandbagging that they're not interested in smartphones, once Tesla gains enough users to wage war, I do expect them to start offering smart devices, such as handhelds and wearables, or even something new that makes smartphones obsolete. If I know Elon, he'll probably try to make it a ring. Once they do so, Tesla will become a one-stop shop for everything in tech. Their smart devices will unify and control everything in their ecosystem, such as Tesla EVs, supercharging, home charging, solar, battery storage, auto bidder, HVAC, and possibly other smart home systems. Shout out to Omar, Whole Mars Catalog, and to Gali of Hyperchange for suggesting that excess solar energy could be used through the Tesla app to mine crypto for you on the EV computer. The ecosystem will also offer easier access to products of sibling companies such as Starlink and boring tunnels. Tesla will make shitloads of money in EVs, shitloads of money in energy, insurance, and all that, and shitloads of money eating Apple's cake. And not just Apple's cake, but Android's too, because just like Apple, Android users won't integrate with Tesla World smoothly either. Tesla will make 80% of the profits in the smart things market. This could add trillions to Tesla's valuation. I am long Tesla regardless, but the chance of this moonshot coming true makes the stock extra exciting for me. You won't see me selling any Tesla stocks for many years to come. But what about Apple? It depends on whether they manage to provide compelling EVs, or at least an EV software and hardware suite. But regardless, I see them bleeding either way. If they don't offer kick-ass EVs, hordes of users will ultimately leave them for Tesla's ecosystem. In fact, not only Tesla, but also Huawei or whatever systems other cars will use. But even if Apple does offer EVs, many users will still prefer Teslas and eventually leave Apple's ecosystem. There should be far more users exiting the ecosystem for Tesla and other cars than entering it for Apple's own car. To make things worse, once the ecosystem is breached and Tesla and other EV makers start stealing customers, Apple will be forced to lower prices, so its profits will fall much faster than sales. Of course, they could possibly make up for it through profits from their EVs and possibly robotaxis. However, unless they make it big time, Apple's current core business will be hit hard. And I don't expect them to make it big time on robotaxis. They seem far behind, so by the time they solve autonomy, chances are the ride-hailing market will already be owned by Tesla and others. In short, I do not see myself holding Apple stock anytime soon. But forget all this for a moment, because I'm more interested in tech, not stocks. My quest is to find where disruptions will take us, and investment opportunities are just bonuses along the way. So bear with me for a moment, forget stocks, and observe the big picture. Let me paint for you a dream of the future. The reason that Apple is successful is that it makes life easier and better for so many people. And if my predictions are true and Tesla succeeds it's only because Tesla will make life even better. So Apple or Tesla, Google or Huawei, all this doesn't really matter. Consider the future that I described, where your solar, storage, and power, your HVAC, smart home, and Starlink, your EV, supercharging, and robotaxis, your insurance, boring tunnel access, and maybe even SpaceX flight reservations all work together seamlessly on your Tesla smartphone, smartwatch, and later, your Neuralink. Isn't this a future you'd like to live in? I, for one, am excited. How about you? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think that Apple needs to enter EVs, or do you think they simply want it? Will Tesla enter smart devices once it grows, or will they just offer iPhone and Android apps like they do today? Where do you see Apple and Tesla going? Who will win? Also, let me know whether you'd like me to cover Huawei's progress. I read all your comments and do my best to reply, and you can also reach me on Twitter, where I am Connecting Dots. I really appreciate your being here. It really means a lot. Till next time, I am Connecting the Dots, and you are amazing. P.S. A huge shout out to all my Twitter friends that sent me heaps of interesting data to munch on. Whoever has the best data wins, so thanking all of you for your inputs. A special shout out to my friends Margie Deese, Ivy Melise, Dr. Stupid, Dr. Karsten Ventink, Slightly Shy Cybertruck, and Space Girl Heidi that helped me out of a rut so that I could start running again with this video. Thanks guys, you mean a lot.